this is Baba's kitchen. Welcome to my home. It's during the holidays, so there's a lot of festivities going on. But today, I'm going to do the bop. It's beans. Bopche Gravche, because everybody loves bopche for Fridays with a piece of fish or with whatever you like. This was requested by Mary. This is the already boiled in a can, which I do 99% of the time. And I have already prepared it. And here it is. After you do your ingredients, which I shall show you, you put half a can of water in there, or if you like it a little more loose, you add more water. And you do it how you like it, and with a nice piece of bread, it's delicious. Now we're going to do the one that you boil. This is 750 grams of white kidney beans. So I have boiled 3/4 of it overnight just to be ahead of myself today, but it takes an hour and a half. This is the size of the kidney bean, and this is the size, so it's going to get enlarged quite a bit. So you have to put it in a large pot, okay? So here it is, the beans. This is the bop that was boiling for an hour and a half, and inside, while it was boiling, there's a green pepper, cabanela pepper, and a nice big onion to give it flavor. So all this boiled together, and now it's waiting for the final finish. What we need is 1 onion. Now, if you make more bop, obviously you have to have 2 onions, but for this amount of bop, 1 onion is plenty. I have a red pepper, and I have the rest of my cabanela. It was too big, so I saved a little bit for frying, because when it gets fried, it's very tasty. So we're going to chop it up into small pieces. You don't want them large. You want them to give flavor, but they're not your main item in your bopche. It's the beans. So you cut off the tail off, and there's something inside that you have to pull out and throw it out. That is not tasty. Those are the seeds. And this is how I do it. My mother was very handy, and she could actually hold it in her palm and just make it small, but unfortunately I'm not that capable. So I just cut it in half, and I cut it 4 or 5 strips. And I hold on to it and chop it the other way, and therefore it gets smaller. You want it as small as you can get it, but it will get soft and disappear with good frying. Here's the garlic, and that too is going to be chopped up into little pieces. And all this gives it flavor. Most of our stews begin this way. The Macedonian people love peppers and onions and garlic into all their food. So we put our oil in, and we shall put the stove on. Bop is a favorite meal for Fridays. In Macedonia, every Friday bop was served, basically all by itself with a nice piece of bread and cheese and olives. This is our bopche that we did from the can, and it's identical. It's just boiled by a company, and it comes fresh and ready. So you pour it in your nice bowl here. There. And you can add a little bit of these green leaves to give it a little bit of taste. Little onion. And a few olives. And there you are. This is a meal in a bowl. All of this also went into the bopche from the can. It's always the same. It doesn't matter if it came boiled. And now we're going to put it in the hot oil gently. You don't want to get burnt. There we are. Looks like we have enough oil. We'll add a little bit of pepper. Here's the mixture now. Very colorful, very healthy for you. Nice peppers, a little bit of salt. because you can always add salt, okay? But it's very difficult to take away. If by mistake you get too much salt in a rice dish or anything, my father told me you throw in a potato and the potato will soak in all of the salt. Okay, so that's a family secret that I have and I'm giving it to you. You make sure that you're overwatching. This is not anything you can leave behind. This has to be sauteed and watched. Here's the onions getting caramelized. They're letting the sugars out. Ibaka kisi, kromicheto, piper kata, lupcheto yatuka, kisi spržiš vaka ubao, kisi opuliš toplinata da nesi izgoriš. Okay, and I like to put a red pepper, green pepper. It gives it a nice color. Yeah, because beans are basically very dull. They're just white. Okay, so we'll put it down lower, and while we're doing that, we have our parsley here. Macedonian cooking requires parsley. Parsley, red pepper, black pepper, and salt is what my home has at all times because basically it goes in almost everything. You can put it in a salad, you can put it in a stew. Now, we're going to chop up the parsley a bit. We'll leave a little bit to add on top, and we'll chop up the other to put in the bopche while we're baking it. And we're going to put our oven on bake, and my oven 425 you need. There's a lot of moisture in your bopche, and we need that water to add while we're baking it because it has all the nutrition, it has all the taste. So we're going to have to take a little pot here, get a lot of this water out. There. Good. As you can see it's getting softer, but I like it a little more. It's important that it's nicely fried and gives the taste out. Vaka kisi speršišu bao, vikacetne kisi turišu bobo, and kisi pogodiš tavcheto there. There we are. We're going to be pouring it in here and into the oven. It's smelling good now. No marisa, sprženi vegetables. Yeah, we're getting there, but now also, we don't waste any vegetables. They're very, very important. Now we take our pepper that was boiling, and we also put it in there, and our big onion. And they're boiled nice and soft, and you can mash them up in amongst the other vegetables. You see how nice and soft, and it gives you a good smell. Then we will put black pepper, a little bit to taste. If you like it a lot, then you put more. Then we're going to put a teaspoon of red pepper, paprika. And you saute it in the oil. It needs to be sauteed first before. See how red they got and nice? Now we're going to add our tomatoes. And here they are. So we shall add, I don't like to buy the pieces because I feel the tomatoes are not good ones. So I buy a whole tomato to make sure that I'm using the best tomatoes possible. 1, 2, 3, 4 tomatoes, and some of the juice, because that's what gives the bopche flavor. And then sort of mash them up, or you can just get a knife and chop them down a bit. And now comes the time to taste. You can't cook without tasting. You have to see exactly where you are. So treba da obiscaš. Kak je, ima sol, nema sol. So now we're going to get a little teaspoon. Here's a little teaspoon here. And we'll take a taste. It's perfect, but when we get it all together, there's another tasting section. Okay, now we're going to pour all of this in there. All this good stuff. You don't want to waste any little bit because that's the taste. Okay? Now, I have the stove on, so I'm waiting for this to boil. Once it boils, I pour it in here and it goes into the oven. And you know what? I forgot to put my parsley, but I'm going to add it now. It doesn't need to be fried, it just needs to be inside. So I'm chopping it up. You put it in after. And that's what's going to give it the final taste. As you can see, the parsley is inside nicely, and it's going to come to a boil, and all those tastes are going to get together and you're going to enjoy it. There it is. Yeah, this takes an hour and a half of boiling. I did it the night before. It can be done the night before. And then you can do your pudding together the next day and baking it. And it takes an hour to bake. But it comes out very nice as a side dish. This dish here has more liquid in it, so you use a spoon to eat it. And that one can be eaten with a fork. It'll be here with your side dish. And you'll see it when I'm finished baking it. And I'll show you how it's done. These are my favorite things. I love a nice little onion with my bopche and an olive. Okay, so now we've heated it up. And our stove is getting there, so we're getting ready to put it in. You gently pour, because an accident is very easy to happen, okay? So gently pour it. Place this in your sink. You don't want to get hurt with that. Take your, oh, there it is, it's ready. So, here we are. It looks like a beautiful dish, right? Beautiful. With all the veggies and the parsley. Now, we're going to put it in the oven. And it takes about an hour, but you watch. If all the moisture, the water goes away, ako mu izbega cela voda, treba točki sočešeta da mu turiš pak, if it isn't there long enough. You can taste it with a spoon. The beans have to be soft. They're 99% soft now, and they're going to get a little better with the rest of the baking. So here we go. In the oven it goes, and bon appetit when it comes out. Okay, we'll see you later. Oh, it's ready now. All right, let's check it. Oh, there it is. Looks pretty good. Oh my gosh, nice. It smells wonderful. Now, as you can see, it's pretty thick. So this is the water that we saved from the bopche, and we're just going to give it a little bit on top, just how much we feel it can pick up. So now we shall serve it. And we're serving it with fish today. This is Friday. We're doing it on a good day. There it is. And we're going to garnish it with a little bit of parsley on top. And thank you very much for being with me. The next time I'm doing my grandchildren's favorite cookies. I have my eggs ready. You need 6 eggs. Orange juice, a glass of sugar, and 3 cups of flour. So that will be my next submission whenever my grandson is able to do it. Bye for now.